I was not planning on making this video, but it seems like K-pop is on fire and it's not dying down anytime soon, so let's talk about it. I especially had to comment on the April group situation. I mean, like, what goes on behind the scenes, especially when it comes to girls not liking each other inside the group. And based on what we have right now, I feel like I can comment on what possibly could have happened. Spotify situation right now is very, very important for artists, so listen up if you want to help your artists. And BTS and racism. Who is this German host that dares to speak of BTS, especially in a racial way? Okay, first let's talk about April HyunJoo's case. April is, I wouldn't say they are a really popular group. They debuted a while ago, but it seems like they haven't reached their peak yet. Also, YouTube does not like it when we use the B word when it comes to not liking each other, so please don't use that word in the comments. So let's just put the word as picking on or disliking each other. So long story short, apparently April's family members came out saying that she left the group because the group and her were having very tense and they were disliking each other and basically picked on by the other members, and that's one of the reasons why April HyunJoo left. So in this context, it kind of seems like the whole AOA situation where groups inside the members dislike each other and it just leads to a lot of drama, which I talked about in one of my very first YouTube videos of when I was a trainee in a girl group, where there were certain girls that never debuted, so don't even look for them. They don't exist in the K-pop world. You know, targeting me and disliking me because I was one of the new members that joined the company. But recently, HyunJoo, who used to be a former DSP artist, he came out and started to defend the group April's, that the group April, the girls, the members, did not dislike HyunJoo for no reason, and that there's a reason behind everything. Overall, he claims that it was HyunJoo that was being late to practices, missing promotions, and because she was sick, and that she was just being a really difficult member. So now we have this two sides to a story. What happened here? So if these claims by HyunJoo is true, I believe this is what went down. So when you become a trainee and you are in a group and training, you see a variety of different personalities, but there's always those members that miss out on practice or either promotion, or they just miss out a lot. So if I come in training 7 days a week, there's some girls who literally come 3 times a week, not because they have school or other things, it's because they claim they're sick. They claim that they have this. So in my case, a couple girls that just always miss practice because they said they were sick. I don't know if they really didn't want to come in. They just mentally could not do it. I don't know, but it does hinder the group's promotions. Like, I remember like when our group was doing monthly testing. So during monthly testings, we would have to do group performances. And if one of the girls are sick and always missing out, then we have to take her out. And now we have to rearrange all our dances and all our parts. And we're working hard, but this person is not. And eventually it does add up and you're like, why is this person always missing out? And that could lead to bitter feelings about each other's, because it seems like we're working hard but that person isn't, and that person is getting what they want and the company is really not saying anything about it. I guess it turns to picking on that member even if you didn't mean it. So maybe because of HyunJoo's whatever behaviors HyunJoo is talking about, that it led the members to dislike her, and maybe they did something that they weren't supposed to, such as talk behind that person's back, such as purposely like push that person away and they don't want you to be near them, or like not eat with them, or, you know, talk bad about each other, kind of like high school dramas. It's inevitable because your group, you're supposed to do things together, and when one person is not in sync with you, you know, it does get frustrating because your career and your life is also on the line. But ultimately, if this is the case, I mean, it's their own problem, it's their business, it's not for the fans and people to get into their businesses and, you know, point fingers at who's wrong and who's right. It's an unfortunate thing that happens with certain groups. That being said, remember to smash, punch, kick, slap the like button and make sure it turns blue. That's one of the ways you guys can help me and my channel. Let's talk about Spotify situation right now and why this is so angering to artists. So Spotify is #1 streaming system, especially in the Western countries, especially in America. I'm not sure about like Europe and things like that. I forgot to introduce, do you guys love my outfit? Like, look at this. Like, look at this beautiful dress. This is my 딸기 우유. This is my strawberry milk ear earrings. Look how cute is that? So Spotify and Kakao M had a contract, and Kakao M is a big Korean company, and they were the main Korean company that was responsible for distributing Korean music, K-pop music to Spotify so that a global audience can hear your amazing K-pop songs every single day. Apparently, a global contract has expired, leading to all Korean songs being removed on the platform. I only have one song out on Spotify, but I could see all the analytics behind, and trust me, Spotify is #1 when it comes to streaming revenue. All the other like Amazon Music, Apple Music, and all the other stuff are like very small compared to Spotify. So now you have all these millions of K-pop songs being streamed every single day, literally chopped off like this. And then bam, obviously it means no revenue for their hard-worked music. A lot of artists have spoken out saying that this is totally unfair, and how can one corporation, one platform have this much power against all these artists? Tableau from Epic High said that regardless of who is at fault, why is it always the artists and the fans that suffer when business plays greed over art? And that is totally true, because I bet this has to do with money. All businesses start and end with money. It's sad, but that's just how our world is. So Spotify and Kakao claim that it is due to domestic and global contracts that they both need to be signed at the same time, which doesn't make sense. Now, the main source of problem could be because Spotify launched in Korea in February, but Kakao M owns or is in charge of Melon, which is #1 Korea's streaming app right now. So Melon is basically Korea's Spotify. There's different streaming services like Genie, there's like Mnet Music, different like streaming sites, but most people are on Melon. But if Kakao M owns Melon, it's a competitor to Spotify. Are they just gonna give up their position of Melon and bow down to Spotify, trying to enter the market and try to sweep over Korea's streaming service sites? Obviously not. And apparently right now in Spotify Korea, the Kakao M music is not available on Spotify to stream at all. So this makes sense why they're having this internal problem right now. So they have their own internal competitor money probably thing going on right now, but this does spark again a debate of one platform, one big platform having so much power. And if one day they decide to shut down, or that they don't like someone and decide to silence someone, well, your career or whatever you had on there is over. So is it fair that these big corporations have so much power over all these individual people? I just don't think that's fair. And how can we spread it out so like big monopolies don't happen? You know, even for me, like YouTube or Instagram, you know, if they just decide to delete me one day or just block everyone, I mean, it's gone. I don't own YouTube, I don't own Instagram. So this is a problem that we should be talking about as fans, as K-pop fans, as, you know, just people online. Trust me, even me as an artist, as a smaller artist compared to like the big ones that are having millions of streams, I know how important it is, and it's a pride thing. It's just an artist pride thing to have your music and albums, you know, in these streaming platforms. So it's so important, and it's so important for you guys. A good job you guys speaking up on Twitter right now, blowing up and having this on the trending list. So good job you guys. The fact that you're standing up for your favorite artists from this small country. I mean, a couple of years ago no one even knew Korea, so this is amazing. Alright, so we get to talk about the BTS racism by this German radio host. I don't know how famous he is. If you guys are in Germany, let me know if this is like a big radio host or what's going on. But I'm guessing it's the famous enough radio show to have this international coverage. This radio station played a BTS cover of Coldplay Fix You, and the host called their cover blasphemy and compared them to some crappy virus that hopefully there will be a vaccine for soon as well. He also commented, "We'll be vacationing in North Korea for the next 20 years. He also commented, "I have nothing against South Korea. You can't accuse me of xenophobia only because the boy band is from South Korea. I have a car from South Korea. I have the coolest car around." First of all, I can't understand German context because I don't understand German, and I know context is very important, but assuming that the context as we read it in English is similar to how we said it in German. So number one, I think it's okay to express your opinion about a certain topic or certain people. If you don't like K-pop, that's your opinion. You can't get mad at someone for not liking K-pop. It's their own preference. Like if someone says they don't like blue and blue is your favorite color, you can't get offended and mad at them. It's their preference. But this German guy went too far by putting vaccines and virus and comparing to North Korea. I'm sure you know this guy is old enough to know that North and South Korea exist separately, and the reason why it exists separately is because we do not have a great relationship relationship with each other. So the fact that you're bringing up North and South Korea, it's always been a sensitive topic for Koreans. So to kind of joke about that is going to be a sensitive thing. Number two, he definitely knows that coronavirus and this whole racial things when it comes to Asians is a sensitive topic right now. You guys who love the Asian culture, especially K-pop, you know this whole Asian racism thing that's going on right now. That crime against Asians have been up like 2,000% ever since the coronavirus. And you guys know the Thai man story, the elderly abuse that's going on right now, all these crimes against Asians and the Asians community standing up for ourselves. And because of that, all these racial things that's going on, everybody is sensitive right now. All the Asians are very sensitive. Even me, when I go out, I have to wash my back now because I've been targeted before for being Asian and calling out because of this whole virus, even though I'm not Chinese. And just the fact that BTS is Asian and also they're not Chinese. So why is he connecting the vaccine with Koreans? Especially if you grew up in the non-Asian countries, you know everybody looks at Asians as just Chinese. You know, they don't know Korea. They think you're either Chinese, Japanese, and that's pretty much it. So the fact that he even brought up the virus thing, the vaccine thing to BTS, it's like, okay, are you mixing up ethnicities right now? I mean, if you don't know that, okay, but saying that in front of the whole public where there's probably a lot of people listening to you and making that audience also more ignorant, you know, it's not a pretty thing. You know, saying that you have a Korean car and probably his TV is made from Korea, it doesn't justify what this person said. You owning a product that's made in an Asian country and then commenting about someone else's race and the virus jokes, you know, it's not a funny thing. That was a lot of blabbing. So anyway, let me know what you guys have thought. Remember to smash and punch and kick the like button. Make sure it turns blue. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below what you guys have thought about this whole topic and see you guys in my next video.